welcome to the Save the Frogs Amphibian Week Poetry Recital. I am Save the Frogs founder, Dr. Kerry Kriger, preparing to read you some frog poetry. This is my recital. Here we go. All right, I'm going to start this out with Radical Frogs Revert. Submitted to the Save the Frogs Poetry Contest by Kayla Lind of the USA, age 16 at the time. Frogs are radical and diverse, yet lately many end up in a hearse. A lot of them are endangered and hurt, and I believe they must revert back to the days they were abundant and loud, hopping and croaking, living life proud. Let's hear it for the frogs of the land and hope for their population to expand. All right, here is Save the Frogs by Kylie Columbani of the USA, age 10. And this one is featured in the Save the Frogs Little Book of Frog Poetry, Volume 1, which you can actually download the ebook for free in Save the Frogs Academy. Go to savethefrogs.com/academy-free. There's a link at the top of our site for 28 days, full free access to Save the Frogs Academy, all the courses that we have. And you will be able to access the Little Book of Frog Poetry, Volume 1 there. Here it is. Save the Frogs is an organization to save the frogs around the nation. Every frog deserves a chance to live, hop, to breathe, to prance. Frogs all over will soon disappear. When they're gone, we will say, oh dear. So I tell people every day, please save the frogs today. Here's Still Waters Run Deep by Amy Zhu of Taiwan. Bright round pearls, those spherical eyes unblinking. It's always staring at me. Never a word. I often wonder if you really have that legendary tongue. I have for hours now been yearning to see, yet you still disappoint me. While I pout and sulk, mumbling to myself slowly, silently, your hard-clenched jawline twitched up to an enormous smile. It was then when I realized my camera had already died. Placing it down, I let my eyes wander to the soft, flabby belly hanging loosely out beneath. How is it that you managed to fill that whole pouch up, just sitting there, waiting and waiting, forever waiting? Do you never get tired of sitting, staring? Why is it that you never need to move around and stretch your legs? Little arms, little webbed feet, 4 fingers, 5 toes. How is it that you have and I don't? Patience that spans, long as life itself. I came to the conclusion that maybe it's because you have been here on Earth over 300 million years longer than I have. This one is called When We Have All Gone by Cody Devine of the USA, age 14 at the time of the submission, which was long ago. These here are some very old frog poems. I did not prepare these in advance. I just have a collection of some of the favorite submissions of all time, and I haven't read these in a very long time. So, enjoyable for me, too, to see these. Hope you're enjoying it. We've got frog art from the Save the Frogs Poetry Contest right now. Here it is, When We Have All Gone. A waterway altered, a creature disturbed, a worldwide crisis, a silent word. Amphibians alike all cower in dread, their homes demolished, their legacy dead. Help from the humans is needed, a fact, to keep our frog friends alive and intact. This frog art actually is all from the 2020 Save the Frogs Art Contest. 2022 Save the Frogs Art Contest is open for submissions right now. Go to savethefrogs.com/art and prepare yourself. Write up your own frog poetry because later this year we will reopen up the Save the Frogs Poetry Contest which has received well over 10,000 entries from probably about 80 countries around the world. Here's a cry for help by Katie Saporita of the USA. I like that last name, Saporita. Age 13. Think, when you cut down trees, that croaking you hear is a frog crying for help. As you walk down the road and you can't hear the frog's song, remember those chemicals you sprayed to keep your garden strong. And know you poisoned the frog's clean drinking water. And next time, really listen to hear them as they cry out for your help. Those Frogs by Tina Quinn, USA, age 10. Little environment helpers just like bees, doing what they like and just what they please. Just yesterday, I found one perching on a stem. Can you imagine life without them? Ribbiting in the Night by Kelly Stevens, USA, age 17. I believe this one's from 2010. In order to save the frogs leaping by freshwater ponds, we can't just wave our magic wands. We must take action to see a reaction. Even though these words are succinct, frogs need our help to keep from becoming extinct. Clinging for Life by Bonnie Waxman of the USA, age 14. Poetry contest is open to frog poets of all ages. Here it is, Clinging for Life. Clinging to the farthest limbs, frogs were the elegantly slimy creatures of the green world. This world has a new regime, however. Humanity. No longer green. Not in the least bit clean. A health hazard to all life. Frogs, they do not cling to forest limbs any longer. Now they just cling to existence. Where is My Home? By Juan Pierre Rissanen of Canada, age 19. I want to be a frog in a tree, not a lonely frog in a tree, but a frog with a family. My home is disappearing. In its place, people's homes are appearing. We sleep sound at night. By day, monsters we have to fight. Big yellow monsters that cut and roar till our home is no more. We are friendly. We don't bite. Join Save the Frogs and help us fight. Speaking of joining Save the Frogs, I encourage you to go to savethefrogs.com/membership right now or very soon. Do it today and sign up. Become a member of Save the Frogs. You will get 15% off all your purchases in the Save the Frogs gift center, where we have awesome shirts. Not this one, but plenty of other Save the Frog shirts and cool frog themed merchandise. But also you'll get full access to all the courses we have in Save the Frogs Academy. We've got about 2,000 pages of amphibious info there. Tons of videos, lots of presentation recordings, educational materials to help teachers and students, and just all around lots of amphibian education for anyone who's interested in saving the frogs from extinction. This is the 3rd annual Amphibian Week. And we have a page on our site, savethefrogs.com/week, WEEK. Go check it out, listing out different stuff we're doing this week. And we also have a brand new website. I just created it yesterday, amphibianweek.org. The intent is to connect frog enthusiasts with all the organizations around the world holding Amphibian Week events. If you are from an amphibian organization and you have a web page, about your Amphibian Week activities, you can submit it right there on the homepage of amphibianweek.org, and we will get it listed on the site so that people can find your events. This one is Poor Amphibians by Jevon Walker, age 13. I believe this one's also featured in the Save the Frogs Little Book of Frog Poetry. This art we're looking at right now that just went away, we've got that on a Save the Frogs t-shirt, so you can go purchase that. If you liked that art, go get the t-shirt. While supplies last. Most of our t-shirts and most of the stuff we sell is, we'll say, one-off. We order a bunch of it, and when it sells out, it's gone, and then we try to have new stuff in there. So if you see something you like, get it before it's gone. Here it is, Poor Amphibians by Jevon Walker, USA, age 13. The frogs must be saved from the poisonous haze that's caused by the car craze and tractors that raze through the forest where frogs played. Are We Listening by Danica Howell, USA, age 35. Submission to the Save the Frogs Poetry Contest. savethefrogs.com/poetry. You can go there right now. Usually that's where the contest resides, and it will be back up there. But right now we do have another poetry recital, one I did a couple years ago. Here it is, Are We Listening? Caught up in our modern lives, progress and notions of self-importance, deluding ourselves that species and resources are expendable, denying the lifelines these represent to our own survival. Will we listen to the messages and the signs we are given? Frogs everywhere are the perfect example of a desperate warning to change our behaviors. Sensitive frogs who breathe through their skin, absorb through their skin, the cocktail of poisons insidiously making their way back to us. The frogs suffer first, but they act as canaries. The more they're silenced, the louder their message. All right, that slideshow was actually created for the 2020 Save the Frogs World Summit by Save the Frogs volunteer Paula Diaz, and that was created as part of our musical hour. I was playing music during there. We saw some musical imagery, and since that came up, and we're doing poetry, and poetry is art, and music is art, how about we just break up that poetry right now for a little bit, and I'll play a little bit of music for a minute or two and then get back to the frog poetry. If you have any frog poetry and you want to take part in a Save the Frogs poetry slam online like this, and we'll get a bunch of frog poets up here to recite poetry, then chat it in or contact us. You can always contact us. Our webpage is savethefrogs.com/contact. A little bit of music. Ooh, we got some blur action going on here, but that's how it goes. I'll play some Bhairavi classical music from northern India. Alright, if you want to hear any more of my music, I also have a YouTube channel. Just type in Kerry Kriger Music, and that will come up. I've got a music website as well. Just type Kerry Kriger Music into Google. You will find it. Alright, let's get back to the frog poetry. Let me first check and see if there have been any kind of comments coming through here. If you have a frog question about anything, amphibian or Save the Frogs, then go ahead, chat it in. If you want to just come up with frog poetry, put it frog poem on the spot, type it into the chat right now. Let's switch this up a bit. I was reading from Save the Frogs poetry contest entries, but let's just open up Amphibian, it's hard to see now, Amphibian Acrobats by Leslie Bouillon. Sorry, I got this blur action that's messing things up. Let's unblur. There it is. Amphibian Acrobats by Leslie Bouillon. I'll put the link in the chat. Purchase it using that link, and then Save the Frogs will get a little bit of that Amazon money if you purchase it at Amazon. While we're on the topic of Amazon, since you're probably an Amazon user, go ahead and go to savethefrogs.com/Amazon, savethefrogs.com/Amazon, and make sure that you've chosen Save the Frogs as your preferred charity on Amazon Smile. And all the instructions are there at savethefrogs.com/Amazon. It'll take you like 2 minutes. And then when you make a purchase at Amazon, then they'll send 0.5% at no additional cost to you. They'll donate that to Save the Frog. So we've raised almost $10,000 from Amazon via people who chose us as their preferred charity over the years. So we thank you if you already have that set up. All right, so here we go. And this frog has this book has some awesome frog artwork. And Leslie Bouillon came on to Save the Frogs Eco Tour a few years ago. We do have a couple Eco Tours coming up in Costa Rica this June and July. So there are a couple spots. If you want to have the most amazing frog experiences of your life, come on to Save the Frogs Eco Tour. savethefrogs.com/Eco Tours. I should give some credit to the illustrator, Robert McGank. All right, I'm just going to open this up to random pages and read whatever poem comes up. Now, the cool thing about this book, Amphibian Acrobats, is that on top of the poem that's about a certain frog, it'll give you fairly scientific info, good information about natural history and threats and interesting stuff about that frog. Some background. All right, so there we have our frogs, which are the knife heads. Bruno, well, the knife heads, name of the poem, Bruno's cask-headed frog and Greening's frog from Brazil, Aparis brunoi and Corythomantis greeningi. Jabbity stabbity, Bruno's frog, Greening's frog, cuties until hidden, skull daggers poke through their strong skin toxins. Headbutt injectingly venomous frogs can make predators croak. All right, here's the flash. This is about Hypsiboas punctatus, one of my favorite frogs. Really beautiful frogs. And they do have those polka dots. And they are bright green. The flash. Nobody knows why this tree frog glows, from glimmering nose to gleaming toes. Camouflage? Messaging? Neither of those. No herpetologist knows. Nobody knows why this tree frog glows. By day it may doze, resting still in repose, but night is for calling while striking a pose. In thin, see-through skin through which blue-green glow shows. Who sees this glow? Nobody knows. All right, here's a famous frog, the African clawed frog, Xenopus laevis. native to South Africa and we'll say Southern Africa. The Speed Eater. While swimming in its grassland pond, this frog's exceptionally fond of gobbling down its prey. Unchewed, 2 hands to mouth, it stuffs in food. Frog surface breathes, then scoots beneath. It lacks a tongue, has no frog teeth. Frog stirs a cloak of mud. Unviewed, frog hides inside to ambush food. Mosquito larva, tadpole, worm, quite mushy dead or live and firm. These treats all put frog in the mood to shove down scads of finger food. Each hind-webbed foot wears 3 black claws for tearing larger prey, because a gape-mouthed gulp would just be rude. Instead, frog shreds, then stuffs in food. All right, as I said, Leslie Bouillon, the author of many books about wildlife and an amazing poet. She came on the Save the Frogs Eco Tour, Costa Rica Eco Tour, and her goal, on top of having a good time and finding a lot of frogs, was to learn a lot about frogs and get inspired to write this book. And that's what she did. So this came out after the Eco Tour. If you're an author or otherwise want some amphibious inspiration, then definitely come on an upcoming Save the Frogs Eco Tour. I'll read one more of these, and then we'll switch it up a bit. Desert Spadefoot Days. Down under scorched sand, pudgy toad spuds dream of cloudburst nights. Tasty termite swarms, mates whooping until dawn. All right, that was a short one. I think it was a haiku. Mates whooping until dawn. No, it's not a haiku. 55357 limerick, possibly? Can't remember. If you know, chat it in. What kind of poem was that? All right, so that was just a sampling of many poems from Amphibian Acrobats. I'm going to put the link in the comments down below. We also have a page on our site. You can just go to the search bar on savethefrogs.com and type in recommended books. It's probably, the page is probably savethefrogs.com/recommended-books. But just do a search, Save the Frogs, on the Save the Frogs site in the search bar for recommended books. And we've got a bunch of books there, and all the links are there. And just about all the links, if you buy them from Amazon, will get a few percent sent to us, which helps us with our worldwide amphibian conservation efforts. Save the Frogs, I founded in 2008, and we've been saving frogs all over the world since then and educating lots of people about frogs. When I founded Save the Frogs, there was no worldwide frog education effort. Not among the public, that's for certain. It was mostly in academia. All right. Amphibian Love Artbook by Leah J. All right, so this book you can actually also get, you can download the PDF in Save the Frogs Academy. How do you get Save the Frogs Academy access? You can either become a Save the Frogs member by going to savethefrogs.com/membership and set up a recurring donation to Save the Frogs. 30 cents a day? Could you afford that? Hopefully. $10 a month would be awesome. $100 a year, just one time, set it up. You don't have to think about it, and it'll help us out a whole lot with our frog conservation. And as a member, you'll get full access to Save the Frogs Academy, or go to savethefrogs.com/scholarships and just apply for a scholarship, and that will get you your membership at no cost to you and full access to Save the Frogs Academy. Or just go try it out. Go to the top of the site, click Academy in the header in the menu bar, and click 28 days free access. That'll take you to savethefrogs.com/academy-free. And you can try out all of Save the Frogs Academy for 28 days. And this book is in there. You can download it. Or I'll put the link for Amazon for hard copy into the comments section. All right, Amphibian Love by Leah J. All right, we met up in 2013 or so when she was writing this book. Did a photo shoot together. All right, let's start out with the Spadefoot Toad. I think that's where we ended before with frogs that like to dig down. All right, Spadefoot Toad. So we got awesome art and poetry all together. Pelobates fuscus. I'll even go ahead and read because each of these also has a page about the frog. All right, location and habitat across Eastern Europe. The Spadefoot toad lives in deserts close to underground water sources with loose, sandy soils. It digs itself backward into the ground to find moisture. By doing this, it can wait a few weeks for the next rain to fall. All right, they don't only live in deserts, but say some Mediterranean climates and drier places. All right, here we go. The Spadefoot toad digs in deep to hide in mud for a winter sleep. A poem, short and sweet, read to you on Amphibian Week. All right, as I said, we've got a page, savethefrogs.com/week, WEEK. Go check it out for other stuff we've got going on, such as we're releasing a lesson every day of the week on how to build a backyard frog pond, how to build a backyard wetland. We've got a full course in Save the Frogs Academy. New lessons coming out every day. There's 7 lessons in the course. Go check that out. All right, axolotl. The axolotl is well known for remaining in a larval stage, keeping its external feathery gills and staying underwater for life. Its only known home, the Xochimilco Lake Complex, has been deeply affected by the growth of Mexico City. I'll say these are not doing well in the wild. Popular in the pet trade, not doing well in the wild. All right, axolotl. Axolotl swimming freely in a lake. Oh no, I got it wrong. Let's redo it. Axolotl swimming pretty in a lake under Mexico City. All right, this is the Amphibian Love art book by Leah J. All right, let's move on to the rainbow burrowing frog. A rainbow burrowing frog. Beautiful frog. Scaphiophryne gottobe. In and around Parque Nacional de Isalo in southeastern Madagascar. Living in rocky crevices, these frogs are able to withstand floods by hanging on to the rocks with their specially adapted front feet. They breed quickly and take advantage of temporary pools of water that may dry up within weeks to lay eggs. Because these frogs are so colorful, they make popular pets and are being over-collected. Plans are being made to breed them in captivity to supply the pet trade while still preserving them in their natural habitat. All right, I'm not sure. Well, I am sure. I'm not a big fan of that whole conservation action, if you can call it that. Let's breed lots of them to supply the pet trade so that we don't have to take them out of the wild. I don't know if it works out quite as planned like that, because the pet trade continues to inspire people who are not educated about where they're getting their frogs from, and they do come out of the wild, unfortunately. But that's a topic for another day. Let's go ahead and read some frog poetry about this beautiful frog. I cling to cave walls and hide in the mud and really hang on in case of a flood. All right, one more from Amphibian Love art book, and then I'll read a few more from the Save the Frogs poetry contest, and then we will call it good for this edition of the Save the Frogs poetry recital. Cave salamander, Eurysea lucifuga, eastern U.S. This brook salamander is well known and well studied. It depends on limestone cave pools and aquifers, so it also depends on us to leave their waters unpolluted in their unique habitat undisturbed. Lots of spots and mostly tail, as long as a pencil, as slim as a rail. I live near rocks, cracks, and caves to better hide the eggs I lay. All right, amazing poetry from Leah J's Amphibian Love art book. Get it in Save the Frogs Academy. We've got a course called Books. You can download it there, or click the link that I'm going to put in the comments here, or go to the Save the Frogs recommended books page on savethefrogs.com and buy the hard copy from Amazon if you want, and we'll get a few % sent to us, which will help our frog conservation efforts. All right, let's continue with Save the Frogs Poetry Contest submissions. Are We Listening? Danica Howell, USA, age 35. Caught up in our modern lives. Progress and notions of self-importance, deluding ourselves that species and resources are expendable, denying the lifelines these represent to our own survival. Will we listen to the messages and the signs we are given? Frogs everywhere are the perfect example of a desperate warning to change our behaviors. Sensitive frogs who breathe through their skin, absorb through their skin, the cocktail of poisons insidiously making their way back to us. The frogs suffer first, but they act as canaries. The more they are silenced, the louder their message. A Sinless Creature by Abhishek Mittal from India, age 11. A shout out to Sarbani Nag and all the volunteers of Save the Frogs India. Just held some Save the Frogs Day events. It was the 14th annual Save the Frogs Day. That was Saturday, April 30th, just almost a week ago. And we had events in Malaysia, Philippines, India, Bangladesh, USA, Cameroon, the UK, and almost certainly some other places as well. We're planning the 15th annual Save the Frogs Day. It's actually going to be on a Friday, April 28th, 2023. April 28th, 2023. Mark your calendar. Plan to hold an event. Share this information. Be sure to tag Save the Frogs at Save the Frogs. Yes, at Save the Frogs. Better than hashtag Save the Frogs. We like that at sign. It sends people right to our page and they can learn about our organization. So do, and then we also know that you sent it and we can share your post. All right, here we go. A Sinless Creature. Lend your voice, make some noise, wake up and fight for a cause. The issue of frog extinction should be dealt. Contribute and make your presence felt. All right, a classic poem there. Contribute at savethefrogs.com/donate if you want to contribute financially. That would be amazing. Big thank you to the well over 4,000 Save the Frogs donors, people who actually contributed financial resources to Save the Frogs to make our efforts on behalf of amphibians possible. You can also contribute your volunteer time, savethefrogs.com/volunteers. Go check out that page. I think I'm going to end it on this next one. A World Without Frogs by Michael Twomey of the USA, age 14. Let's get some frogs up here. Got some salamanders coming through, some newts, some limbless amphibians, these Sicilians. Yeah, we even have some reptiles showing there because reptiles are not amphibians. All right, egg masses, tadpoles. Here we go. A World Without Frogs. Can you imagine a summer night walking slowly through the moonlight? Through the darkness, not a sound, for there are no frogs to be found. Where are the chirps and croaks in the water that darkness cloaks? Where are the rustles through the weeds and the frogs darting around with surprising speed? As you walk by the pond so still, remember the time, if you will, when throughout the now quiet night, frogs once chirped in the moonlight. We're going to call that good. This has been a Save the Frogs Amphibian Week poetry recital. I am Save the Frogs founder, Dr. Kerry Kriger. Just yesterday, I created a website all about Amphibian Week, amphibianweek.org. If you are an educator or website creator and you have a web page all about Amphibian Week with ideally listing events that your organization is holding, go ahead, go to amphibianweek.org, submit your webpage so we can get it up on the website. It is an equal opportunity website. Anyone, doesn't even have to be an organization. If you're an individual and you have a page all about Amphibian Week, send in that URL so that we can get it up on the site. Go check out savethefrogs.com/week as well for our listing of current events going on. As I said, we have a new lesson about how to build backyard wetlands coming out every day in Save the Frogs Academy. And I hope you enjoyed this frog poetry recital. Please spread the word about Save the Frogs. Share. If you're watching on Facebook right here or wherever you're watching, if it's shareable, go ahead, click that share button. And thank you for helping Save the Frogs, and enjoy your day. Bye.